It just won't stop. $6.86. Congratulations for each and every one of you who got the airdrop, who sticked around throughout the bear market, was on top of the things, claimed the airdrop, and is now sitting on 4, 2, in many cases, even 5 figures with the airdrop. As I said to you, before DYM even started trading, and also my video from yesterday, that this is kind of my taking profit zone, right? Or basically cashing in part of my airdrop, because at this price, it is actually a decent 5-figure airdrop for me. So it makes a lot of sense. And to be honest, it's a gift that I did not expect at all, right? As you guys know, I'm always very conservative with these airdrops. I never have expectations. I don't do this. I optimize for airdrops, but I never expect to get crazy rich with them. So having received such a huge, generous DYM airdrop, it made sense for me at this price. As I said, between $5 and $7 is kind of my take profit zone. To cash in some of that airdrop money, I did that with around 60% of my airdrop. And the rest I just staked, right? Stake and forget, similar to TIA. Actually, for TIA, I staked around 90% of my airdrop right away. And I also took some profits there at around $6 for TIA. But the thing about these airdrops, especially when you're taking profits, but then the price keeps going up, is to not have any regrets, right? The same way you shouldn't have any expectations in the first place on these airdrops. The second step is to not feel any regret when you sell too early, when you hold too long, right? Your airdrop strategy really needs to be tailored for your current circumstances and the situation that you're in, right? If you have important bills to pay, if you want to go on a trip with your family that you know, your family, your kids, your wife, if you did that, they would be extremely happy, right? This doesn't weigh against your own emotions of kind of missing out on potential more gains, right? Creating memories in the real world, cashing in to pay bills, maybe even cashing in money to help others is really worth much more than trying to maximize and really squeeze every single dollar from those airdrops, right? At the same time, I also don't think selling everything is a smart strategy, especially for those type of airdrops. So always keep a moon back. I'm beyond grateful for this. I'm beyond grateful for the Dymension team for deciding on the tokenomics the way they did, for building that project, for everyone, right, that kind of made this happen, right? Because this doesn't exist. You have to always think, this does not exist anywhere else. In no other industry do you receive free money like this, free 4 to 5 figure airdrops. It doesn't happen, doesn't exist. Only in crypto, only in crypto. That's why you need to be on top of the things. You need to always be active. You need to claim. At the same time, you need to be extremely careful because it is just such a fast-moving industry with a lot of scammers, with a lot of bad actors in the space that want to scam you, that want to fish you, that want to take your money, rob your coins. So you need to be really, 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 really careful. Please, I keep saying this all the time. But yeah, congratulations again. DYM, really, really amazing. This is amazing, right? Now, can this pull a TIA? I personally don't think so, but who am I to judge this, right? Who knows? I think this is more comparable again to Manta, AltLayer, the kind of TIA ecosystem projects. But the fact that it did not get the hype it got from the VCs like Manta did, I think that means it actually, that's kind of the only comparison I would draw to TIA, because also TIA launched and then the VC started to really FOMO in. And I think a similar thing might happen with DYM, right? So I don't know if it can go to $20, but I would not be surprised if that happened, which is why I have my stick and forget bags that are locked and loaded. And also I'm not missing out on any airdrops here, right? So this is my strategy again. 60% I cashed in, 40% around is just staked, right away. Speaking of staking, you can stake right now at 36.75% on-chain staking APR. The bonded ratio is only at 22.73%. And if you click here in the back at parameters, you can also learn about the tokenomics, because it's actually quite similar to Atom. So there's this inflation range between 1% minimum and 10% maximum. And the gold bond is 2/3, 67%. So if it is above 67%, the bonded ratio, the inflation will gradually go down to a floor of 1%. If it's above 67%, the inflation will go up. It started at 8%, and right now you're seeing the inflation is going up, which means staking APR is also technically going up, but as more and more people are staking, it also gradually goes down, right? So as long as we are below 67% here with the bonded ratio for DYM tokens, you will see the inflation going up gradually until it hits a roof of 10%. And if we're above 67%, it will then gradually reverse and go back down to a floor of 1%, which means the staking APR would also adjust. Now, we spun up our validator also with Stexito, of course. We were late to the party. This was a last minute thing we decided to then just do, also on very popular demand from our staking community. And we're very, very grateful that we are still high up in the rankings. I mean, you have to think like this is an insanely competitive set. 300,000 DYM. 300,000 DYM is the floor right now at a price of, let's say, $5 is 1.5 million, $6 1.8 million. Almost $2 million is the floor that you need as a validator to get into the active set. And if you're not in the active set, then you're not accruing staking rewards. Insanely competitive, which is why I'm really, really happy and proud of the Stexito fam, the Stexito community. You did your thing. You keep doing your thing. I really appreciate that, right? That allows us to grow the team, to hire more people, to be more out there, and to keep decentralizing and securing Cosmos infrastructure left and right, right? We just increased our team. We just hired 2 new members, Winnie and Karim. I talked about it yesterday. And we want to keep doing that. We want to keep growing. We want to contribute a lot more, both on the community side, on the governance side, but also on the technical side. Also, shout out to Nacion Crypto, some of the best validators also in the game out of Medellin, Colombia, los crypto parceros. Also, whenever you see them, please delegate to them. They're great friends. And yeah, I think also geographically distributing stake, you know, to different parts of the world, right? And they're from Colombia. They're Latinos, right? So they're catching also all the Latin community. They're also content creators and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Also, check out Friends. Of course, you know them pretty much from Cosmos also, Yuri and Fabi, co-founders of Cosmos. And actually, I just did a fantastic episode with Yuri on their podcast. So they have a podcast called Builder's Diary. So I was just invited on that podcast, and we talked for over an hour about just my personal journey, right? That's the whole format. It's about the person, the builder behind the project, behind the validator, behind customers, behind all the stuff I'm doing, right? Behind this YouTube channel, right? You all know me as Cryptosito, but I obviously have my personal life, my background, my career, my studies, my travels, all these things, right? So if you're interested in that, you know, how I also got into making events, how I learned Mandarin, how I learned Chinese, how I stayed there, how I then moved to Colombia in 2019, did more events, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, and how Cryptosito started. I mean, to be honest, this is like all insane if I think back. And, you know, we just had this milestone, 100,000 followers on Twitter. And it made me think a lot about how I started, where I come from, what's my journey. I think it's very important to never forget this. And also I think it's important for everyone that's listening, everyone that's delegating, everyone that's kind of investing in crypto, that's on crypto Twitter, to have a more human layer behind the project, behind the coin, right? And I think sometimes this human element really gets lost in the crypto space, right? It's all about gains and airdrops and making money and jumping from one coin to another. So people completely ignore the kind of human layer. Anyways, this is the podcast. You can watch it here on Spotify. Other big news from the Persistence team. They just came out with a big bang, with a big new kind of shift or evolution in their journey. They are one of the OG liquid staking pioneers in the whole crypto space, to be quite honest. And we've been covering them here on the channel many years ago. They were actually also some of the first people to teach me about Cosmos. And it's been great to keep in touch with them, obviously here in Dubai now, which is also where they have an office. Really great team. I really love them. And yeah, we also have this educational partnership where we're creating content together and make content around also persistence, p-stake, liquid staking, and how to also use liquid staking derivatives in DeFi. Well, now they came out with restaking. as a narrative, right? As a kind of product development or evolution in their roadmap. And this had a big impact, right? I mean, I knew that this is something kind of inevitable where P-Stake is leading towards to, because I think we have now Stride, we have Milky Way, we have Quicksilver, we have P-Stake, they're all liquid staking providers. But now the question is, okay, what do you do with all these LSTs, right? And what they're now doing is to basically combine all these different liquid staking derivatives, liquid staking tokens from Quicksilver, STK Atom, STTR, Milk-Tier, ST Atom, Q Atom, all these different providers, and basically enable restaking for these and build a whole liquid staking economy around that. So this persistence, keep an eye on them. Also, I think, yeah, they published a blog post here as well, but also the price reacted nicely to that, 42.7 cents now. Still obviously way below the bull run highs. I think the all-time high was $16, 97% down from that still, which means one in two things. Number one, they're just dead and will never recover from this. Number two, this is a great opportunity, right? But yeah, if you look at the chart, I mean, obviously this looks very brutal. They launched here in May, or like Q1, late Q1, actually Q2, beginning of Q2 in 2021, and then just caught this kind of 2021 bull run year. They didn't have the 2020 kind of pre-bull run year, so they launched relatively late in that sense. But now, after this bear market, which they survived, they're coming repositioned with a strong narrative. They also had a recent proposal that passed to bootstrap liquidity for Dexter and on Astroport with STK Atom. But this is definitely a smart move from the persistence team to focus on restaking, right? And I kept telling you guys, when EigenLayer launches, everything restaking is going to explode, right? So this is like persistence is positioning itself to also absorb the EigenLayer pump, which is inevitably going to come, right? Then we have another great news, which is Bad Kids NFTs that are now also tracked on CoinGecko. The floor price is just going nuts, 160,000 stars, which is almost $7,000 floor price, and a market cap of $69 million roughly. Volume 10,436,000 US dollars in the past 24 hours. Absolutely nuts, mind-blowing. 4,500 owners right now in the Bad Kids ecosystem, and this just keeps going up and up and up. Whenever you think like, okay, now it's expensive, like it just keeps going up, right? Bad Kids is culture, the culture of Cosmos, and residing on the Stargaze chain, on the Stargaze zone. And Stargaze really is also the premier NFT marketplace in Cosmos. And if you look at Stargaze, also up 10% today, but still ranked 345, with a total market cap of 127 million US dollars, fully diluted. But yeah, having a NFT collection that's just worth almost half of that is insane, right? I mean, I think Star's criminally undervalued. If you zoom out, max, you can see, well, the all-time low here was half a cent 4 months ago. So they pulled a 6x since then, 6-7x. But yeah, I think still this is super, super low, 4 cents, right? It was at 83 cents in the absolute peak, Pico bull run, right? This was like Pico bull run 2022, February, where Cosmos had a post bull run top season for itself. I remember everything was just going nuts. Juno went to $45, Stargaze went to 83 cents, Atom went to 45, Osmo went to 12. All these crazy things happened. But yeah, this is Stars, right? Also criminally undervalued in my opinion. And if you just go on Stargaze itself here and look at some of the analytics here, it's just absolutely nuts. If you look at the volume here, absolutely through the roof. Everything is through the roof. The thing is also like, okay, Bad Kids now are pumping like crazy, right? So people are going to be asking, the more this goes up, they will be asking, okay, what is the next Bad Kids, right? 100%. In that context, of course, BitKids are pumping like crazy, already at a $5 million valuation. Why is that? Well, because it's the same artist, and BitKids are the evolution of Bad Kids that got airdropped to every Bad Kid holder, right? So this is closely linked, pretty much it's the same, right? And I think also BitKids are going to pump. But yeah, it's pretty much the same kind of collection, right? The second collection to Bad Kids, basically. Bad Kids number 1, OG collection, BitKids number 2. Then you have one that I think is probably severely underrated, and that is After the Filter. After the Filter might be the next Bad Kids. Why? Because it's the same artist of Bad Kids, right? And After the Filter has a huge storyline, but once people realize that After the Filter is from the same creator of Bad Kids, this is going to fly through the roof. So might be some alpha here. Before I let you go, I want you to watch this quick 2-minute tutorial from Liam yet again on how to register for your AltLayer airdrop, right? AltLayer is a token that's already trading. We're getting an airdrop for TIA stakers. So if you're staking TIA, you are eligible for this airdrop, but you don't have much time left to register. And if you're not registering, you're not getting the airdrop, right? It's just picking up absolutely free money if you have been staking TIA anyways. So I'm going to leave you with Liam, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe and be good.
This is Liam here from Stakecito. I'm coming at you with a quick airdrop tutorial for the AltLayer airdrop for Celestia stakers. This is a 2-part process. We're going to take you through how to register today, and then in part 2, we'll be showing you how to claim when the time comes. This is time sensitive. You do need to register before February 16th. Let's get into it. So for those eligible, here's what you need to do. Head over to airdrop.altlayer.io. We'll put the link to that below this video in the description. And you do need to register a separate Ethereum address for each wallet that you claim with. Keep that in mind. Agree to the terms and conditions on this website. And now select Celestia as your choice of eligibility wallet. When you've done this, put your Celestia address in the box and then hit the checkmark button. Once you've done this, you'll be brought to the next page on screen showing whether or not you're eligible. If you are, congratulations. What you'll need to do is claim or start the registration for that claim very quickly. So go ahead and hit your start registration button, connect your wallet, either Leap Wallet, Leap through MetaMask Snaps, or Kepler Wallet, and approve the transaction request that appears. Once you've done this, you need to next sign the terms and conditions on this page. Once again, give them a read in your own time and hit agree to terms. Next, hit sign and approve the transaction request that appears in your Kepler wallet once again, or Leap if that's what you're using. Once you've done this, all you need to do is link an Ethereum address. Remember, you need a different Ethereum address for each Celestia wallet that you claim for. Paste your address into the bar as shown on screen. Next, hit the sign button and now verify that you're human by completing the captcha. Once you've done this, you'll get a confirmation saying you've successfully registered, and that's all you need to do to claim this airdrop. Congratulations. Now your next steps are to do the actual claim itself now that you've registered, so do come back to our channel when the time comes. We will walk you through that process. Consider delegating to Stakecito if you want to get an update when that claim process begins or when it's close to ending for the registration. That said, thank you so much for watching today's video. Consider supporting Stakecito through subscribing or delegating across the chains we validate. We'll always be keen on bringing you more valuable content. And we'll see you in the next part of this AltLayer airdrop when we show you how to claim. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.